But Jimmy and I are up here at Bullock Bore. I fixed the Wi-Fi last night, so now we've got comms out at the water points. And yesterday was our first day of redoing some cattle, or back into some cattle. We're pulling some off here. Yeah, we've got a full set of, well, not super full, but we processed this yesterday afternoon and we got some pretty good numbers very quickly. Now in the yards here, it'll be hard to see him, but that big fella there on the left, that bro. Then we've got a sort of a Drought Master cross bull in here who also is pretty clean, and he's also going to be interesting. What we'll do is try and go gently with him. Now, morning Adam, good to see you're at work. Why Jimmy and I are able to be sitting here on the rail, a 4-seater, and that meant we didn't have to drive for 2 hours to get up here. So Jasmine and Rigby are in the automatic Triton. Yep. And Gaz and Danny are in the Volvo. So yeah, Mike has just asked us how many cattle do we work. The property, we've got a little bit over our 3,000 head at the moment, and that's because we're a little bit late on pulling some of these fellas off. You can see that brindle cross animal there who's walking around the back there. We're a bit late on mustering this year, so we did our muster earlier and we sent off 450 odd head of cattle. We only did one loading video, but that's because we had issues with our cameras. But we are now, Ranger's asking us, do we do Brahman and Angus? No, actually the Brahmans are sort of a heritage thing from a few years ago. We are primarily a Drought Master and Shorthorn herd. And we run the Drought Master because they hold their condition pretty well out in this environment, which is sort of like a Brahman 2.0. And then the Shorthorns have that weight and also the survivability and fertility. So they carry calves really well. The animals that were found do really well out here, and we saw the whitehead brindle boy out there. Oh, this one counts as a brindle as well. Bugger. We had one of our Hereford bulls come through.
Oh, there's a little fella right here, just in front there.
Oh yeah? Hang on, if I flip it around.
He's a real nice. He's got that head, that real Hereford head. But he's not gonna.
He's not gonna show us.
He's not gonna show us. I think there's one up the back. The
and we've got plenty of those pink and greys.
It's day 2 as well, the quest for a Bungarra. So
yeah. So yesterday, well, on Sunday was it? No, Saturday.
Sorry, days of between harvest and this, days are pretty meaningless at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we would have come up on Sunday. So
Sunday?
Yeah.
No, today's Monday, isn't it?
Oh yeah, must have been Saturday. Then.
Saturday. Yep. So the lads came up, and at the first set of yards yesterday, so tunal yards, we had a nice big Bungarra cruising along, and so because Rigby caught a baby camel over there, but then he thought that the noise was too annoying, and he's let it go.
I guess for those who don't know as well, like a Bungarra is a large lizard, similar to, I guess, like...
Sorry if you can't hear us over the cows. The station's been operational, and the farm down near Cascade, or Esperance, Clare Downs, is, well, I know 70s, but we got it in the, somewhere in the late 70s. She's a good cow.
She is.
She's well trained.
Curious.
Wim's telling us it's a bad connection. Yeah, so we're not directly on a Starlink. We're going through our station network, which has got a fair bit of comms congestion at the moment. So apologies about that. We've had an issue with one of our Starlink units. So the roaming one is out of action, and also the Land Cruiser's out of action. The clutch is gone. And just as another side note for everyone who's been watching for recently with a lot of the shooting and everything. We're going to have to actually move that stuff into a little bit of a different area, and we're thinking of putting that into the members area because we've been hit with a community standards violation, and that's for anything that's really got no context to it. So anything that's just shooting without the rest of the context about why we have to do it, that violates community standards. So we're going to have to work out somewhere else to put it there. Yeah, I can hear the boys.
Danny and Rigby coming.
Gaz.
Danny and Gaz, yeah.
Yeah, so just on the birds. Yes, those are wild pink and grey galahs. And they are really annoying. Out here, they're actually, declared a pest for this region because they're not native. And just quickly for Kerry, who's jumped on, we're out here mustering. We've got to pull cattle off because of the season and the outlook. We want to get some bulls off because they eat so much more. And Jimmy and I flew in this morning. And with prize bulls, what we call our herd bulls. So none of the boys are here this morning, but we do have herd bulls who we bring in. So it's majority drought master bulls that we've brought into the place. The first 2 years we brought in shorthorns to reinvigorate the herd. All right, do we want to go line him up?
Yes, we do.
We'll see how well my connection holds. He's the troublemaker. That's the F16 Volvo, and it seems to do all right. We've been having a few issues with its temperature, especially on the highway work. Now, in this pen yesterday, we pulled 22 bulls off, and we've got probably another dozen to come off here, especially that boy there. We don't want him doing any work. Hey Gaz, you're live. Morning. No, the last couple of days have been pretty cool. The guys even had jackets on to start with, and Jimmy's got an undershirt, which I think in about 20 minutes he'll get rid of. But we've only been hitting 30s for the last couple of days. It's been windy. The frustration with the wind is the dust that it brings. So we just have to sort of grin and bear it, wear our sunnies, and keep out of it. But yeah, the wind has been nice. Yeah, with the heifer calves, what we've got is a injection, PG, so we can whack them with that, which will keep them from cycling for about 3 months, and so then we can start to time it in. Because it's hot at the moment, we're not exactly taking that extra time to do that work now, but what we do aim for is pulling the heifers off, and we need to pull around 500 a year off, and close to 350 of our cows per annum to get off. And why we're not pulling any heifers off at the moment is we don't have the space down at the farm to pull them and put them, and we don't want them dropping calves down there because that's the most inefficient way for us to breed cattle and use our feed. So Danny, we can't start because the tags and stuff are with Jasmine and Rigby, and what we'll need to do tomorrow is hook up the seed container. We should have thought of that this morning because the Volvo, the F12 is out, and we didn't want to bring the Mac, the Army Mac up. So now we're live at the moment. Danny has been more into the channel since the boys chat have been stirring him up about saying nothing on the channel. So it's a good bit of ribbing that they've been giving him. And yeah, then of course you've got Gaz, who just doesn't shut up. So we were talking a little bit earlier about the Bungarra challenge and how Gaz missed one. When we got here, there was one and I went to get him and I missed him twice. So I'm not allowed to go for the next one. It's actually up to Jimmy catching a Bungarra. So we're all looking forward to that. Because then it's, if he doesn't catch, it's equal for everyone. No one's been able to catch one. Right, so we are sort of half just waiting for Jasmine and Rigby to get here with the tags so we can start posting these girls and boys. And hopefully I won't accidentally let a steer out again, which is always good fun. And Danny, you've got one of your fans saying hello. Here we go. So we've got Jimmy over there. Danny's hiding again. And then, yeah, there's Gaz. And that's our little Hereford cross shorthorn thing out there. Right, so our positions when we're mustering, so Jasmine's out with us today as well. Actually, I've mentioned that a couple of times. So Jasmine's going to be up the front with Jimmy. Jimmy's doing the earmarks and tags. Danny works the head bale, so the crush, so he can hold up and grab the cattle. And Gaz and I and Rigby are going to be working the back and the side of the race to make sure the cattle keep moving up. Now, not sure whether I'm going to have Rigby in the back pen or Gaz in the back pen. We'll work it out. It might be a paper, scissors, rock. Ben's asking us, do the cows graze all year long or do you have to supplement at times? Out here on the station, we don't need to supplement, and that's through that management of the grazing pressure. So the last 2 years we've had have been exceptional. We had 297 mils in 2022, and we had 240 odd or 250 mils for this year. So it's given us a pretty good amount of growing season and feed to recover. But what we'd done is we'd pulled a lot of stock off in 21. And also the big part is for us to make sure that we control those non-profitable grazers, which is the camels, any horses that we come across. We reckon we've only got about 12 left on the place. We've seen them from the plain and they've actually come up from the south where they're not managed as much. And there's a handful of donkeys. But then we've also got to make sure that we keep on top of things like the kangaroos. Now, some people have been, sort of saying, oh, you're doing it all for profit or for greed and stuff with the landscape. Well, yeah, it kind of is. You need to be able to make money to live. And if you weren't making any money, you wouldn't sort of be out here, and it would just be overrun by the feral animals. Kerry's asking, is it cows or is it cattle? It's an interesting one to ask, because you go and look at it, it's a whole load of cattle over there. It's a mob of cattle, and look at the cows. But cows is gender specific, and you can't always tell from a distance what and who you've got. So you don't want to really assume much. So when we come to the video of this mustering and everything, Jasmine has taken a fair bit of time to walk through yesterday and ask the questions that most people have been asking, so we can go through and explain it a little more. It's going to be a little while before we get that edited up, because today's looking like a pretty heavy day. Like, we've got around 60 head of cattle here. At the next water point down, we've got somewhere around 120. One further down, we've got 100, and then we've got 80 in at Red Hill. So we're going through a few hundred today, but with many hands comes their work. And yeah, we'll tackle it as we go. And we don't have internet at North Packhorse, which is where Danny whacked somewhere around 45 camels, and he said that the camels actually enjoyed the music, so he just had his Yui boom playing some music, and they just kept on coming to him. So he's sort of the Pied Piper of camels now. Now, Sparky Bears asked, are we completely off-grid at the homestead? And he'd like to look at our complete off-grid power setup. In February, March, we are looking to build a new workshop. We've got the steel here, we just need to have the time, and we're looking at upgrading our power plant, because we need to convert over to a 48 volt system to be able to use some of the newer inverters and charge controllers. So it's going to be a pretty reasonable upgrade to that. And yeah, we're going to document all of that and that upgrade, and look at what more we can put in terms of solar, so then we can have more air cons and better rooms. So we have done a real brief overlook on our power plant before, but we will go through it as we upgrade it all. So Jasmine and Rigby are a couple of minutes away. We're going to make sure that we're nice and ready and get some cattle penned up for them. So I'm going to leave you guys to it, and yeah, we're going to have a fun day, and hope you guys all enjoy yours. And here's some of the cows just for the end. Sorry, here's some of the cattle. And he reckons he's got Danny lined up, because you see he's just staring, and we've got complete eye contact between Danny and him. So, well, I've seen Danny get over a rail pretty quickly, but Danny's got the head bail, so he'll win. All right, see you everyone, and thanks for joining us.